You know that feeling when acid reflux just hits out of nowhere? You could be fine 1 second and then all of a sudden there's this burning in your throat, in your chest, feeling like there's lots of mucus being produced, coughing, post-nasal drip, or even chest pain, difficulty breathing. Those are just a few symptoms of an acid reflux flare. Hello, my beautiful people. If you are new here, my name is Molly and welcome back to my channel. This is the place that I share all things acid reflux, GERD, gut health, LPR to help you prevent reflux, optimize your gut health, and live your fullest life. So if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, be sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss a video. So if you have been in the throes of an acid reflux flare, you know how stressful and frightening this can be. I personally struggled with GERD for over a decade, so I know how confusing and frustrating it can be to deal with reflux and to be kind of panicking because you're in this flare and not sure how to get out of it. So this video is born out of questions from you guys and questions from our clients about how do we move out of a flare. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of tips to help you stop the reflux, reduce the inflammation, and get yourself out of this reflux flare. What even is a reflux flare, you might be thinking? Well, what we think of as a reflux flare is a period of heightened symptoms. So you might be experiencing more heartburn, difficulty swallowing, feeling like something is stuck in your throat. Depending on what type of reflux you have, and we do have a video on the different types of reflux, GERD versus LPR versus just general digestive issues. You can check that out after this one. But depending on the type of reflux you have, you might be experiencing more pain in your chest, your throat area, or even respiratory symptoms like coughing and shortness of breath. You may also experience pain right underneath the rib cage or a burning sensation in the stomach. What causes a reflux flare? Well, the truth is it's different for everyone. Some of the biggest triggers that we see in our practice are overindulging in some of the reflux triggers, having really large portions of things like tomatoes, chocolate, really high fat foods, especially late at night, eating really fast, or drinking a ton of fluids with your meals. These can also contribute to reflux triggers, and usually it's not just one thing. It's like a stacking effect of multiple triggers. Also, not addressing root causes like gut imbalance or bacterial overgrowth. This could be a cause of a flare, or even things like stress can be a trigger for a reflux flare. I get asked all the time if I still have reflux or if I still struggle with GERD. The truth is I no longer struggle with GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, because I do not have reflux on a weekly basis and I have no erosion or esophagitis from my reflux. But there is some level of reflux that is actually considered normal. And I do experience reflux on occasion if I really significantly overindulge late at night. So I was in Italy for a wedding last year and I had a big tomato sauce meal and a few glasses of wine, and I definitely experienced some reflux that night. And in the morning, I woke up with a little bit of heartburn and throat irritation, but it resolved very quickly with the strategies I'm going to be sharing with you today. So the difference between me now versus me 10 years ago is my GERD was erosive. It was all the time, no matter what I ate. It really didn't matter. It was really persistent reflux, and my flares would last a lot longer. Now I only have reflux if I overindulge in certain triggers too late at night, and my flares really don't last a long time. The other thing that can contribute to a flare for me personally is stress and anxiety. So over the summer, I was dealing with a lot of stuff personally. I had a very close family member who was very sick, and I did experience a lot of throat tightness and some chest pain. And you know what, now that I think of it, I actually don't know if that was reflux or not, because those symptoms are also very similar to anxiety symptoms. So who knows, but that's just a little bit about where I am today with my GERD. It's very well under control. I no longer have GERD, just occasional acid reflux, but when I do, I know exactly why I did. And that is considered normal. Okay, friends, so sometimes we know why we had an acid reflux flare, other times we don't. And what's important for you to remember is that in the moment when you're flaring, while you're very symptomatic and anxious about these symptoms, you do not need to figure out exactly why you're having a flare in that moment. When you're symptomatic and stressed, it's not the best time to like dig into everything you did and ate. In that moment, you need to focus on healing and getting better and keeping yourself in a healthy headspace. This brings me to tip number one, which is your mindset. When you have a reflux flare, it is essential that you prioritize a positive, healthy mindset, because things can spiral very, very quickly when you're dealing with acid reflux. First things first, it's really important to stay calm. And I know that this is easier said than done because I have been in your shoes. I have been in the spiral of what if this this is causing damage? Is this going to be long term? Am I ever going to feel better? Am I ever going to be able to get off medications? These were all thoughts that I certainly had and all thoughts that our clients have when they first come to us. But hear me out. Even though the first instinct when you have a flare is to panic, overanalyze everything you ate, Google your symptoms, I want you to just slow down. Remember that now is not the time to overanalyze everything. When you're feeling better, we will dive into your nutrition, your lifestyle. You can rewatch my entire acid reflux relief playlist on here and take notes and think about what you need to change in your life in order to overcome your symptoms. But for now, try to remain calm. I had a client named Sarah who would spiral into anxiety every single time she had a flare, and it would make her reflux symptoms 10 times worse because stress actually can increase the permeability and the sensitivity of your esophagus. This is actually a researched evidence-based finding that stress can increase the pain sensations in your esophagus, and it can also increase the permeability, meaning it makes your esophagus more susceptible to damage. So it's really important that we start our day with a 5 or 10 minute meditation. Doing diaphragmatic breathing after your meals can also help prevent reflux. So mix in some diaphragmatic breathing around your meal times. When you are feeling anxious, when you get an anxious thought, I want you to think about 3 true things to help ground yourself in the moment. So when you get an anxious thought, 3 true things could be, this will pass, I'm doing everything I can, I know I will feel better again, things like that. So it's really important that you try to combat those anxious thoughts with some positive, healing, true thoughts. And also try to keep the mind busy. So when your mind wants to start Googling symptoms, try to redirect to your passions and your interests or goals. If you love knitting, you love Nordic culture, or you love dancing, guitar, do those things that you enjoy, even if you're not feeling your best, or even just watching YouTube videos about them, reading books about your interests. This is really important because we can really spiral into a dark place when it comes to reflux, and we need to try to maintain a positive attitude as we move through the symptoms. It will help you get out of your flare faster, I promise. Now, let's talk about food. When you're in a reflux flare, we do want to choose some reflux-friendly alkaline foods to help reduce inflammation and prevent further irritation. You definitely want to check out my full video on the best foods for acid reflux. After this video, I will link it at the end so you can go right there and find the best foods to support yourself right now. But maybe thinking about starting your day with an alkaline meal, like some of the Flora app recipes, like our spinach feta egg white bites, or our maple sage turkey patties with sweet potato, or even a nourishing bowl of pumpkin overnight oats that is rich in protein and good complex carbohydrates. These are going to help reduce inflammation and nourish your body and give your body the nutrition that it needs to digest your food well and also heal irritated tissue. For lunch, maybe something really soothing and alkaline like an anti-inflammatory vegetable soup, or you could do the one pot chicken orzo. There's a lot of delicious recipes on the Flora app to support you and get you out of this reflux flare and feeling your best again. I would avoid the reflux trigger foods such as tomatoes, citrus, fruits, carbonation, alcohol, caffeine. You might want to go with a caffeine alternative like herbal tea or Kamana. This is actually on my desk right now because I just got a new order of this. I have it on subscription, but Kamana is an acid-free and caffeine-free coffee alternative. The description is down below. If you're in a reflux flare, your body might need a break from coffee because it is very acidic and caffeinated, which can loosen the lower esophageal sphincter muscle and allow more reflux to pass through. So giving your body this break from caffeine and acidic beverages can really help you get out of this flare faster. I would probably also avoid heavier meals and really fatty meals like fried foods or fast foods, sticking with good complex carbohydrates like potatoes, rice, sweet potato, quinoa, and good lean proteins like chicken, salmon, shrimp, tofu, and alkaline veggies like broccoli, asparagus, bok choy, zucchini. I could go on and on. There is a full reflux-friendly grocery list as well that is free down below in the description, and a free reflux-friendly meal plan down in the description for you, so you can download those and support yourself on your reflux relief journey. This doesn't mean you'll never have these foods again. I really want to emphasize that. It just means your body may need a little bit of a break. The third tip I want to share with you is a supplement that I think is the best type of supplement if you have reflux, and I wish I knew about this this sooner. When I was struggling with reflux, this really wasn't part of the mainstream, but now it's becoming more and more popular, and this is alginate therapy. So alginates are literally algae from the ocean, and the algae can float on top of liquid surfaces. So when you take an alginate, it creates this little gel barrier at the top of your stomach, right at the lower esophageal junction, and it prevents reflux from moving upwards into the esophagus. It is a miracle for a lot of people with lower esophageal sphincter issues, with hiatal hernia, who may have anatomy that make us more susceptible to having reflux. So the one that I typically recommend is reflux wrapped. This is down below in the description. I just really prefer the ingredients on this one, but there are other ones available if you're not in the United States, like Gaviscon Advanced. You want to make sure you look for the Gaviscon Advanced aniseed flavor though, because that is typically better tolerated than the mint flavor, because mint can also be a reflux trigger. I really love using these after meals and before bed, so really helpful. Again, the link is down below in the description. One other thing that you can look for when you're at the grocery store is a tea by Traditional Medicinals called Throat Coat Tea. And this is a great pickup if you're at the store shopping for your reflux-friendly groceries, because it's an easy way to get in an herb called slippery elm. Slippery elm is an herb that's been used for centuries to reduce inflammation in the throat and the esophagus. So look for the brand Traditional Medicinals. I have no affiliation with them, but they're just a great brand that you can just pick up easily, or you can also use slippery elm as a supplement as well. But it's a great way to heal and soothe irritated tissues. Tip number 5 is really being careful about your evening routine. You want to think about this as one of the most important times of reflux prevention. So ideally your dinner is 3 hours before you lay down, and ideally dinner shouldn't be your heaviest meal either. You really want to think about allowing time for your stomach to empty before you lay down. Otherwise you get horizontal and you don't have the gravity to keep stomach contents in your stomach. So really important that we think about this earlier dinner, and also probably doing some sort of stress management in the evening. Again, like a little bit of yoga. We have reflux-friendly yoga on our YouTube channel here, or a meditation. There's also some meditations on this YouTube channel that you can do to help reduce stress and help you wake up in a calm state, help you sleep better. Sleep is so essential for your healing. So managing stress before bed can help you go to deeper sleep that can support reducing inflammation and healing. And now when it comes to sleep, I mentioned, using an alginate as well before bed. I think that's a great strategy to make sure that you're creating that little barrier to prevent reflux. You also want to think about the position that you're sleeping. So sleeping on your left side actually really can help reflux, because your esophagus is tilted slightly upwards, which is what we want to prevent the upwards movement of reflux. So sleeping on your left side and sleeping slightly elevated is also a great strategy to make sure you're preventing nighttime reflux. I had a client who said she never had nighttime reflux in her life. Nighttime reflux just wasn't a problem for her. She never felt it, but she always woke up with a sore throat, and she always woke up with some mucus and sometimes a bitter taste in her mouth, which are all very common classic reflux symptoms. And waking up with these symptoms can suggest that you are having reflux during the night. So really prioritizing the things in this video and the things in my nighttime reflux video. I have a full video all about that as well. Make sure you go through all of the acid reflux relief playlists. I've had so many emails from you guys saying that the videos on the acid reflux relief playlist have either radically improved or cured your reflux just from those videos. So take advantage of all the free content that is there. Tip number 6 is thinking about the way that you eat. I always tell my clients that mealtime hygiene is the #1 thing that most people forget when it comes to reflux prevention, and it's also the thing that often people say helps them the most. Reintroduce foods without reflux symptoms. So while you're in your flare, you want to really cultivate these habits of mealtime hygiene. And this is slowing down during your meals, chewing well, really savoring each bite, getting that digestive process going in the mouth. Because remember, your stomach doesn't have teeth. And so if you eat really rapidly and you don't chew your food, all of your food arrives at the top of the stomach and creates like this traffic jam. And your stomach has a very difficult time breaking down this large volume of food that was sort of just thrown into the stomach. And when the stomach contracts in the upper portion, if you ate really quickly and all your food is in the upper portion, your stomach's going to contract and some of the food is going going to move upwards. So you want to slow your meal speed down. This is so, so important. Please promise me you will try this week. Tip number 7 is a little bit of a bonus tip that has been really helpful for some of our clients that are weaning off of their PPI. When you're weaning off of a PPI, sometimes you can have an increase in acid production and it can feel uncomfortable temporarily. You can feel more heartburn, you could feel a little bit of warmth or burning in your stomach, and utilizing calcium can actually help to neutralize this increase in hydrochloric acid that your stomach is producing. So there are certain supplements on the market, like there's one called Wonder Belly. I have no affiliation with them, but Wonder Belly is like a healthier Tums alternative that is calcium carbonate that doesn't have any dyes in it, so you could check out Wonder Belly. It is linked on my Amazon store, which my Amazon store is down below. You do want to be careful. You don't want to over supplement with calcium. This isn't something I would do every single day, but it can be helpful as a rescue if you need it every once in a while. Another thing that is sort of similar but different is using fortified almond milk. So fortified almond milk from the brands in the US are called like Silk or Breeze. They are actually fortified with calcium carbonate, and 1 glass, 8 ounces, gives you 400 milligrams of calcium carbonate. And this is about a quarter of a Tums or of a Wonder Belly. And that can help to neutralize acidity. Some people feel like the almond milk also coats and calms their throat and esophagus. So that is a little bit of a rescue that you can use and grab when you're grocery shopping. If you have found this video helpful, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know what types of videos you want to see, and share this video with a friend that's also struggling with reflux. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a weekly video upload to help you take control of your reflux and feel like yourself again. Now, I would really take advantage of my full video grocery tour going through the best foods when it comes to reflux, foods to help you soothe inflammation, optimize your gut health, replenish nutrients, and overcome reflux. So definitely go watch this video. I take you through my top foods when it comes to reflux relief. Remember, every flare is just a temporary setback. You can get back on track, and you're not alone in this. Take a deep breath, take things step by step, and trust that your body is healing. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.